Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Meepolis and this is Literally Graphic. And today is my inaugural Translation Tuesday, and we are kicking things off with a kind of unpopular opinion on Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Maroh. Warning for homophobia, chronic illness, character death, cheating, high school college age gap romance, and nudity. Both sexual and non-sexual. According to Wikipedia, Julie Maroh is a non-binary lesbian from northern France, and according to Goodreads, they live in Brussels. Most surprisingly, in doing research for this review, I discovered that among other things, they are responsible for the art in my upcoming and anticipated read, You Brought Me the Ocean, by Alex Sanchez. But yeah, blue is the warmest color. It's been out for a minute, so I'm not even going to think about not being spoilerful. What happens? Before jumping into the main story, we start with a brief but tense vignette centering around a woman dealing with the death of her partner. Partner's mother appears to be trying to make nice, but partner's father blames woman for the death of his daughter. Moving on to the main story, Clementine is a sophomore in high school who is failing to have sex with her boyfriend. He seems like a nice enough guy, but something doesn't feel right. One day, she goes out with a friend who has just come out to her as gay, and Clementine ends up at a lesbian bar where she runs into a woman who inspired sexual dreams in her at the start of the book. Romantic interest Emma is an art student dating a woman named Sabine. A short while later, Emma gets Clementine in trouble with all of her very homophobic friends at school by showing up and giving everyone the distinct feeling that Clem is a lesbian. Clementine finds new equilibrium friends-wise, but still isn't sure about her sexuality. Shows up randomly at Emma's apartment asking why Emma never brings her home. They have sex. Time goes on. Emma does actually break up with Sabine, ends up at Clem's parents' house with her for a sleepover. Emma gets caught wandering around Clementine's parents' house naked by said parents, and both women are kicked out immediately for partaking in such sinful behavior. Clem finds new family with Emma's more accepting parents. Jump in time until Clem is 30, and she cheats on Emma for the last time and gets kicked out of her apartment. Clementine's health is clearly not going well. Eventually, Clem's gay best friend of yore convinces Emma to take her back. The two women have sex at the beach, and Clementine collapses. Homophobic doctors will only convey medical information at Clementine's still estranged and homophobic parents. Clementine slowly fades away and dies, leading to the events depicted at the start of the book. Finishing this book and flipping over to Goodreads, I was honestly more than a little surprised at how positively reviewed this book was, although on second thought it does make more than a little sense. For one, this is a much hyped classic, and as far as I can see, very much a frontrunner in the realm of queer comic representation. It's also an own voices title that has received a lot of recognition and is generally seen as a much better version compared to the movie, which I still have yet to see, which apparently features prosthetic vaginas. But yeah, as I said already, this book felt like a bit of a miss for me. I think this had to do primarily with the age gap, especially since the older character was cheating on their partner, and the way Clementine dies at the end. Does that mean no one can enjoy it? By no means. I contend that queer comics were at a very different point when this was published, and especially with the age gap, fiction is fiction is fiction, but that held it back for me. The art was also a bit of a mixed bag for me. I feel like I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to styles, trying not to judge things as unskilled that are just a style not to my taste, but this definitely felt a bit rough to me. Looking forward to their more recent work on You Brought Me the Ocean, another heavily blue title, does reveal a lot more refinement on the same style, so I'm very excited to crack that open soon. The use of color was very creative and interesting. Going through my list of intersections that I try to highlight, sexuality and gender were obviously a focus of this book, and it does that to a pretty interesting effect. Both the sexual and unsexual nudity is done well, in my opinion. Race was definitely overlooked, and money and other class signifiers were also never brought up. Disability is obviously brought up at the end of the book when it turns out the main character has a chronic disease, and while I'm certainly not a judge of this sort of thing, the inclusion of this death did feel a bit cheap and manipulative too. Like what to do with her homophobic parents. well, if Clem dies, they'll be sorry. Plus, it kind of continues the binary where people are either able-bodied or dead. So yeah, that's why I'm rating this book 3 out of 5 stars for now. I'm wondering if it should be 2, but we shall see. I can see what others people take from this book, particularly since it was published in 2013, what feels like a lifetime ago. I certainly was in a very different place at that point myself. Bye y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.